Hey, welcome everybody to another episode of the World of Nutrition with Marilyn Lamer. Um, this is part of the World of Ability Podcast Network, and special thanks to Marcus, Jay, and Zach for having this on their platform. So I'm going to pass it over to Marilyn to get us started.
Thank you so much, Emily. Appreciate it. All right, we have two special guests today on the World of Nutrition podcast. Super thankful for both of them. I will introduce Austin Tani first, and he is the owner of Bringing Balance Back. He's an amazing energy healer who works from home, and he's been in business since May 2021. He previously was a registered respiratory therapist. His spouse is Kai, and he has 3 children, Ka'anoi, Keola, and Kahiao, and an orange cat. So cute. His hobbies are family stuff, reading, eating, and video games. And his activities of interest is healing and metaphysics. He has lived in Mililani for 9 years, and his burning desire is to help kids and young adults learn to clear stress and heal in school. I love that. Something no one knows about him is he was a captain of the soccer team in high school, and his key to success is connecting with amazing people. So Austin, thank you so much for being here. We can't wait to hear what you're going to share today.
Thanks, Marilyn. So my name is Austin, and my business is called Bringing Balance Back, like Marilyn said. And today I'm just going to share a little bit about what I do and how I help people. So I have clients actually in different parts of the US, Florida, Texas, California, and of course in Hawaii. But most of my clients are actually in Hawaii right now because I do all my work over Zoom. So a lot of people are like, how do you help people with physical ailments over Zoom? So we'll go over that in a second. So when we're helping people heal, healing is actually clearing the charge or clearing the block. So we have in our body a central nervous system, and that's basically an electrical system in our body. We have our brain and all the nerve lines coming down into our body. And if I was to touch my foot, it would have to send a signal to my brain and back, basically in under 0.1 seconds, and I could feel the touch of my foot. And in Western medicine, they believe that the mind and body are two separate things. So they say if you have mental issues, you need to go see a psychologist, a psychiatrist. You need counseling. Or if you have a physical issue, like a foot pain, you need to go see a podiatrist. Or if you have a throat issue, an ENT, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But in the healing world, we look at the person as a whole. So mind and body is one thing. It's not two separate things. Your body is an extension of your brain. So if you think about your brain and all the nerve lines, there is no disconnection. And that's the way people who heal see it. So when you're helping someone heal, it's working with the central nervous system, like I said, the vagus nerve, which is a main stress pattern nerve, which comes out of the top of your spine, comes behind the oropharynx here and touches every single organ on the way down. And that's your main stress pattern nerve. That's also known as the CEO of calm. So this is actually a nerve that you can feel other people in the room with. So if we were to have the Dalai Lama sitting in this Zoom with us, it would make this Zoom very calm and peaceful. But if we had some rock star, all liquored and coked up, it might make the room very anxious, right? So that's the vagus nerve you're feeling. That's the main stress pattern nerve. Besides the vagus nerve, we're also working with the limbic system. So the limbic system is just a part of the brain that controls movement and emotion. And both of them require dopamine. So movement and emotion are coming from the same part of the brain. So we can say movement equals emotion. And with these 3 systems is how healing works. So the central nervous system and the vagus nerve, they work together like this. And when we have emotional or mental stress, it creates a charge in the body. And depending on where that charge comes from, I help my clients identify and walk them through clearing out that charge. So what is that charge? So if you were actually just to stop, sit down with yourself, and think about a stressful event from the past. If it was stressful enough, you could actually feel that in your body. That's the charge I'm talking about. So if it's enough of a stressful or traumatic event from the past, it'll actually create a pattern where if you have a similar situation, it will trigger that charge again. So I'll give you an example. So I had a client that actually came to me for massive anxiety on planes and elevators. And we found out when he was about 3 years old, he was on a boat with his dad. And this boat actually caught fire. And everyone was trying to get to an exit off this boat. And what happened was he didn't really remember the memory too much visually, but he remembered how it felt. And so every time he has a similar event on planes and elevators where there's a lot of people standing up trying to get to an exit, he gets that massive anxiety because you remember how that felt before, so it would trigger it. So we just cleared up that charge from his past, which is called inner child work. So clearing charge from the past to feel better in the present. So once we cleared that charge from the past, he no longer had that massive anxiety on planes and elevators because he no longer had any resonance to what happened to him before. So you can imagine how many things from your past might have charges and are just in your body sitting, or how many times your fight or flight was triggered and you didn't fight or you didn't run away, right? That charge stays within you. And that can actually cause issues, health issues in the body and mind. So that's one way that I help people, is clearing the charge in the past to feel better in the present, which is inner child work. The second way is finding what resonates with that person. So resonance, what resonates with you? What matters to you? What has a charge to you? So for instance, I'll give you an example. If I was to say, I'm a burrito, my brain would say, no, Austin, you're not a burrito, and my body would have no negative sensation to it, right? But let's say I was raised in a Mexican family, and every time I made a mistake, my dad would call me a burrito, right? Every time I messed up, he'd say, hey, you're such a burrito, man. And then later, I'm like 20-something years old, walking past a taco stand, and someone's ordering a burrito. They're not even talking to me. And I hear the word burrito, and I think they're talking about me, and it triggers me. I'm like, oh my gosh, why is this guy talking to me like that? Like, I don't understand. And so, because it has meaning, it has resonance to me. So the same happens with beliefs. So what beliefs resonate with you? So really, really common ones that I see in almost everybody that I work with is, I'm just not good enough. I'm inadequate. I'm unworthy. I don't deserve it, right? So in itself, those are just 4 phrases that I mentioned. They should have no resonance to you, but if you say one of those out loud over and over again and you start feeling a tightness in your body, that belief is resonating with your body. So you can try it. If you're at home listening to this, try going ahead and say in your mind a few times, I'm just not good enough. I'm just not good enough. I'm just not good enough. If you have no negative sensation in your body, great. You don't have the belief. But if something starts tightening up in your body, or you feel a heaviness or even a pain, that means that belief is resonating with you. Okay, it has meaning to you, which it shouldn't. It's just words, right? Just like I'm a burrito. So that's another way I help people. So I'll tell you a story about that. So I had a client that came to me because I think it was the right side of her face was getting really tight and locked up every time she hit a goal in her business. So as I was talking to her, what came up was that she had the core negative belief of, I don't deserve it. So every time she hit a goal in her business, her face was like, no, right? It would lock up. That's a core negative belief acting upon the physical body. So once we cleared up that belief, her face just relaxed and everything was okay. And she could go on, keep hitting her goals in her business. So if you're a business person listening to this, some of these things can hold your business back, right? I mean, could you imagine trying to start a business and you have 4 negative beliefs of, I'm just not good enough, or I don't deserve it, or I'm unworthy of money, and you're trying to make more money in your business, right? All these things have an effect on our whole life. And all this work that I do is actually on a subconscious level. So a lot of people is like, what is a subconscious level? So your subconscious is actually your body. The charge with your subconscious is actually in your body, and your subconscious is mostly how you feel about things. Your conscious mind is only so much. It's about 10%, and it can focus on so much things at a time. Your subconscious mind is 90%, and that's where all your beliefs and concepts hang out. So if you want to know what are the concepts in your subconscious, just look at your life and your body. It's a literal transcript of the concepts in your subconscious. So when I work with you, we're going to find what are those core negative beliefs that you're hanging on to that were created in your past. So a little bit about beliefs. So how are beliefs and concepts formed, right? Everybody's like, how is that stuff formed? So thoughts concentrated upon or feelings concentrated upon turn into concepts or beliefs. So if I think about a certain, or if I think about how I am for a certain period of time, eventually I'll make it a part of my identity. Or I think I'll make it a part of my identity, but that's not true. It's actually just kind of wearing the coat of that belief. So it's never your identity has the belief of I'm just not good enough. It's just that you're wearing the coat of I'm just not good enough. So these beliefs in your subconscious actually run the show. So if you imagine your mind and your body as a computer, you could think of your core negative beliefs kind of like viruses or spyware or malware, what you eventually pick up in your life, right? Growing up or maybe currently. And your brain has created these concepts of beliefs. So it slows down your system, either physically or somewhere in your life. You can't reach something that you want to reach. It's harder because you have those core negative beliefs. Positive beliefs are more like applications. So if you could imagine your computer, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, those are applications. So you can open them at any time and it'll help your life or improve your life in some way, right? So within the belief world, my job is to find all those core negative beliefs that you're hanging on to, clear them out, of course, and align you with positive beliefs. So if you could imagine getting rid of a belief like I'm just not good enough and replacing it with a belief of I have the power, strength, and knowledge to handle everything in my life. That's a huge difference. And these are not things that you need to think about because it's running in the background, the subconscious mind. So those negative thoughts and feelings that are coming in, that's from your subconscious mind, your body. Your body holds a charge. So earlier I had you say, I'm just not good enough out loud. Where did you feel that charge? And that's where you're getting those negative thoughts and feelings from. So that's the way I help people. I help them identify and walk them through clearing out these charges and blockages. So a lot of people also tell me, then how do you fix physical issues with this? So a lot of times when we have tightness, pain in the body, heaviness, any of that stuff, it's actually from that charge. So when you find out and you're able to identify where those charges are coming from and you walk and you clear them out, it's almost like magic. Your nervous system works very quickly and our body is always trying to heal. Okay. So if I was to cut my arm, I don't need to tell my arm, hey, heal, heal, heal. No, my arm is automatically going to heal. It's going to start to scab over and eventually I won't even remember that I got that cut. But like emotional stress, if I had a deeper cut, I might need some intervention. I might need to clean out that wound. I might need to even get stitches, right? But again, it'll heal up on its own. And after a while, I won't even remember that I got it. It's kind of like, it's the same for emotional and mental stress. So if you had, let's say I'm driving in a car and I accidentally cut someone off and they show me the finger and like, F you, right? And I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Maybe you're just having a really bad day. I didn't mean to, and, eventually you forget about it, right? That's like a minor emotional or mental stress. But let's say you're growing up and the first 3 out of the 7 years you're alive, your alcoholic dad beats you, right? That's a bigger emotional stress, right? So that you need intervention. And that's where I come in because that stress will stay in your body until you clear it out in some way or another. So those are the things that cause most dis-ease in the mind and body. It's those charges. And I've seen it again and again and again where people after one session are like, oh my gosh, I feel so much lighter and I feel so much better because we've cleared that charge. And a lot of people, they don't even realize how much they carry. I've had clients that they don't even know why they're in pain or they don't, they have no self-awareness about that stuff. And when they work with me, they're like, oh yeah, I remember that happened. And then we cleared out and they're like, oh my gosh, that was a big thing. And a lot of people are like, oh, when I work with you, will I just be like crying the whole time? And I thought, no, everyone's process is different. Some people might cry, some people might tear or weep, but that's why we're here. That's why I'm here, to support people through the big stuff and give them the tools to clear out the small stuff later. So some of the things that I've seen get better through when I started this business, I've seen pain all over the body. I've seen rotator cuff injuries. I've seen pinched nerves in the neck where they wanted to do surgery. I've seen fibromyalgia. I've seen plantar fasciitis, sciatica. I've seen digestive issues, like 10-year digestive issues that weren't clearing up. I've seen skin issues clear up. I've seen anxiety, depression, phobias. Everybody likes the eye stories. So I've actually seen on 2 occasions eyesight return over Zoom, but they weren't blind at birth. I'm just gonna put that out there. This isn't like Jesus stuff, not on his level. So I'll just share a couple of those stories because people like to hear them. So I had one client come to me because she went blind in her left eye for 3 months, and the doctors had no idea why. And I think it was during the second session, she was telling me, oh my gosh, Austin, I can see lights, shapes, and colors out of that eye again. And we had a significant improvement in that eye, the vision in her eye, but it wasn't perfect, but she was so happy because she could drive again. And I think that one was around unworthiness growing up. I think she had a hard time with her dad passing away early and such. And then another story with the eye, I had one client come to me because she had tunnel vision in the left eye since 2015. And that one actually took a little longer. It was about 6 sessions, and I believe we got 80% improvement. So it wasn't 100%. But the thing is, with this work, it's not just fixing the physical, it's also fixing the concepts. So when she first came to me, this person was actually part of a business networking thing that I'm part of. And she was very timid and shy when you would have to say your elevator pitch or your commercial, right? Your 45-second. She would always be looking down or kind of just reading. But after I worked with her, then that next year, she was actually the chapter president. And she did a great job because she had confidence again, because we're working on such a deep level. I don't know how I am on time, Marilyn, but I'm just keep going. So these are different things that I help people with. Most of my clients come to me for pain issues that they're tired of taking pain meds or they don't want to do surgery. I also get a lot of clients who just they're stuck or they want to be a better version of themselves. So there's a couple ways that I work with clients. One is a session by session base, so you can just schedule yourself in for a session and we can do some clearing work. The second way is I have a life reset program. So the life reset program is actually 4 sessions tailored to you. And the first 2 would be clearing out all that stuff from the past. So any kind of imbalances, traumas, or stress from the past. And the next 2 would be cleaning up beliefs on a subconscious level. Excuse me. And I've seen amazing shifts with this. I just finished working with a nurse practitioner, and she had chronic fatigue. She had skin issues. She had some weight issues. She had pain in her knees and other places of her body. And by the time we were done with it, all that stuff was starting to resolve completely. And she was pretty happy about it. I think she wrote a review on Yelp if you want to look it up. I think her name is Marie, so Marie. But she was one of my favorite clients because she had great shifts. But if anyone's listening to this and they want some help, there's different ways you can find me. One is, of course, bringingbalanceback.com. Again, bringingbalanceback.com. Or you can just text or call at 808-202-7632. 808-202-7632. And I'll be happy to do a consultation with you, a complimentary consultation to see what's going on and see if I can help you. I believe that, I know I said some things about Western medicine, but Western medicine does have its place. It's very good for emergency things. So, if you break a bone, please, go see your doctor. Or if you have some kind of bad infection, a staph infection or something, please get some antibiotics. But for pain issues, I think anxiety, depression stuff, I think the work that I'm doing is more powerful than what psychologists and psychiatrists are doing today. And I'm not putting down any doctors. I think doctors are very, very intelligent, but I feel like they have studied some of the wrong things. So, a lot of them study disease processes and ways that pharmaceuticals can help ease some of that symptoms. But with this work that I'm doing is we're pulling it up by the roots so it doesn't come back. So if you guys happen to hear this or know anybody in pain, or they want to be the best version of themselves, or they just enjoy energy work, please send them my way so we can have a conversation. I met Marilyn through BNI very early when I joined BNI back in, I think it was July 2021 is when I joined, and I met her soon after. And she's been amazing. She's what I call a master connector. So she connects everybody and anyone. So if you guys can connect to Marilyn in some way, please do, because if you need someone in a certain field, she can find them for you, like in a heartbeat. So please connect with Marilyn. And our next speaker, Jed, I'm very close to. He's one of my good buddies. We actually trade with each other. He's a trainer, and so we trade our skills with each other, and we share with each other. And he's just an amazing guy. If you guys have or you guys want to get to the next level with your fitness, Jed is your man. But yeah, thanks for listening to me today, and I hope you got a little value out of this. And thanks, Marilyn, for having me on this podcast.
Yes, thank you so much. I love that. Super helpful. And I have worked with you. You have helped me clear so many different things. So I am truly, truly grateful for what you do and how you've been helping people. And even what amazed me is that you could help people in group Zooms. Like you can feel the energy of people in group Zooms and help clear that as a group. And that was really powerful as well. So thank you so much for being here today. And again, bringing balance back. If you need to contact Austin, please do so, because he is really helping to shift the world with energy. And I appreciate that you are going down that modality. Thank you, Austin.
Thanks, Marilyn.
Right. And next up, I want to introduce my next guest, Jed Ramos. He is the owner of Kaizen Fitness and a holistic fitness specialist that specializes in life-changing fitness that creates limitless transformations. So powerful. With over 12 years of experience with the health, fitness, and wellness professions, Jed utilizes scientific, evidence-based methods to holistically serve each client in mind, body, spirit, heart, and soul. He believes in fusing modern science with ancestral wisdom so that his clients live a more meaningful, fulfilling, and purpose-filled quality of life. So Jed, thank you so much for being here. Please take it away.
Yes, thank you, Marilyn, and thank you, Austin, for a wonderful presentation. It is a blessing to know both of you, and I'm glad you guys are listening. Hope you're ready. I have a lot to share, and I'll try to gear a lot of what I talk about with the nutrition standpoint. But just a quick story about me. I wasn't always fit. I was bullied as a child from preschool all the way to junior year high school. I was always skinny and weak, short. I was a minority. I didn't belong. I was growing up in a place where racism and prejudice was very prominent, and it was just not a great time in my life. And I just wanted to be normal. I wanted to be strong. I wanted to be loved and accepted. So hopefully, in time, I can be like that. And one way was, like all guys, growing up, we just want to be big and muscular and strong, like a superhero, like Captain America, Superman, the Hulk. And, you learn a lot of life lessons along the way, and you see that, it's not always about being big and strong and having the best body, even if for women, it's not about having the perfect hourglass shaped body. It's much more than that. And through my pain, through my struggle, I've been finding ways to just get better and learn more and through education and experience and learning from others and just being an open book and being a sponge to absorb all the experiences and knowledge that I can from people and immediately applying it to myself. And at some point, I kind of did. I was looking a little bit better. I was gaining a little bit of muscle, but it wasn't just physical for me. It was more just empowerment and building self-discipline and focus and willpower and grit and fortitude, all the things that come with just building a stronger self. But as you mature, you see that it's much more than just having a nice body. And so fast forward to today, what I teach and preach to my clients, it's not just the physical body, it's mind, body, spirit, heart, and soul holistically that create the kind of person that you want to be in life. So through my schooling, my education, my experience, I've developed a way that I can teach and I can train and I can coach clients through different modalities and different ways of fitness, exercise, health, wellness. They're all separate things, but really they're all connected. They're all interconnected. It's like the human body, you have different systems like the nervous system, endocrine system, musculoskeletal system, etc. But we want to focus on the complete person. And that's what I do. And that's the whole holistic approach to fitness. Fitness is just a state of being. It's about being able to survive. So survival of the fittest, right? Being a good fit for a job or a task, and obviously having the ability to procreate. So you continue on, the species, the legacy. But for people, it's just to be able to live and survive throughout the daily, tasks of the day, activities of daily living, your job, raising a family, getting through college, being a great mother to your children, being an awesome dog owner, whatever that is for you, that's special. You want to be able to live that life to the fullest with very little to no pain, or ideally pain-free, but as far as just going through the days with energy, vitality, and what I always promote for myself too with my clients is to have good vibes, just good vibrations, good energy, and surrounding yourself with the right people. And that's what I do with my clients. So Kaizen Fitness is really about, holistically training each client, but there is a science to it. I do have a background in exercise physiology, biomechanics, strength and conditioning, and this includes sports nutrition. I study bioenergetics also, and basically take all that knowledge and just apply it to everyone that I meet. I was also an assistant strength and conditioning coach at a Division I level athletic program, and I worked for the YMCA. So shout outs to the YMCA. I work with a large range of demographics from children that are 4 years old to senior citizens that are 99 years old. So that kind of encapsulates and summarizes everything that I can do potentially. And there's nothing different about children or seniors. We all just want to live a really good, healthy life, whether you're a child dealing with childhood obesity and self-confidence issues to senior citizens that just want to be able to check their mail, just walk down the driveway to check their own mail and come back without any problems, just to go to the bathroom. Like it's the simple things like that that may not seem important to people, but in the grand scheme of things, day to day, it means a lot. And that's how I operate. I get to know each and every client individually. It's not a sea of commercialism or consumerism in a facility where personal trainers make money. And that's basically what I'm up against. I'm up against uphill battle against consumerism and commercialism, where you don't have to join gyms. You don't have to join fitness centers. You don't have to belong to big boxes or studios to be healthy and fit. It's not required. You don't have to, but you can, you may. And I'm not putting those places down. I used to run one. I was a director. I was a general manager. I ran these places, both nonprofit and private and for profits. So there's a place for them too. It's just, we want to make sure that people understand you don't have to, but it's there if you need it. If you need that camaraderie, you need that, energy from other people, surround yourself with good social friends with like-minded goals, then yeah, so be it, go for it. But it's not required. So what I teach also is that I can train clients anywhere. You can work out, you can exercise anywhere. You can do it right here in front of this camera, wherever you're at. You can be at the beach, which is probably the best place to work out. You can work out at the park, your driveway, your backyard, any place with space that's safe. And, obviously it's not raining and pouring, but, unless you enjoy that kind of thing. But if you have space, you can do it. And the other thing is the nutrition part. So I just want to touch on that. Nutrition is also suffering from this commercialism and consumerism also, as far as like these diets and fads that are going around. And it does absolutely drive me nuts because unfortunately with this whole fitness and exercise wellness thing, it's going to be about 75 to 85% of the entire equation, your nutrition. And the thing with diets it's just very, it's very misleading. It's very distorted. And what I do, even though I'm not a registered dietitian, I do educate my clients on the basics, the fundamentals of nutrition, as far as just reading labels, reading ingredients labels, reading the calories, how to decipher how many calories and what, sugars, carbs, fats, proteins, etc. Once you learn how to read a label, then basically half of that is done, like half the battle is gone. And as far as making right choices with nutrition, so this is just an example of what I talk about with my clients. So say that they want to lose weight. They always ask about, okay, well, what do I do? Like, do I run tons of miles? Do I starve myself to death? Do I do some fasting? Like, do I fast for 2 months without eating anything but water? It's all these crazy things that people think you have to do, but it's really, really simple. So one thing that I would suggest is first go to your doctor, get a blood test, see what your blood test says about your lipids, your A1Cs, your triglycerides, any biomarkers that can show anything about your blood that can show maybe you might be pre-diabetic or you might have something. But if you assume you have good blood work, which is great. So the first thing I want to do is do a complete assessment and see where you're at physically. So that way, when we actually, tell you what to do as far as exercise goes, at least we know your physical abilities to do so. So we do that first. Then we talk about what they're currently doing. What are you doing now? Like, what are you eating? What are you drinking? Are you taking any supplements, vitamins, minerals, etc.? And just let's see where they're at right now. And let's say that it's not so optimal. So I'll give suggestions. So as a fitness professional, we give suggestions. We don't prescribe because we're not doctors. We're not registered dietitians. And we'll tell them, hey, maybe you want to consider this. So we'll make some recommendations with supplements, and the only thing that we do with supplements is we actually educate them on how do you find the right supplement? How do you know which ones are the best one? It's a sea of thousands and thousands of different kinds of companies out there. So I teach them this stuff, like make sure that the company does third-party testing. Make sure that they don't use proprietary blends. They have a certificate of analysis. Check the expiration date. If it's within 1 to 2 months, it's probably not that good. It should last about a year or so. Are they being manufactured in a GMP facility, which is a good manufacturing practices facility, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's pretty boring stuff. But then I do all that homework for them too if I need to. And as far as real food, like if they were to eat real food, which is actually, if you think about the word supplement your diet. They shouldn't be dependent. So you're not supposed to be depending on these things to get your nutrition. You should use them to supplement whatever you're lacking. So like a multivitamin is good if you don't get enough nutrients in your diet. But, as far as food, like let's say they were asking about, what do I eat? Beef, pork, chicken, whatever. You can eat, honestly, whatever you want. My clients have the freedom to eat whatever they want. If anything, all my clients are basically foodies. Like they love to eat food. We talk about food during our sessions. It's beautiful. We talk about like the latest shops and restaurants that just opened in Honolulu or in Kapolei or Waikiki. and they're free to do whatever. I don't count macronutrients. I don't count calories. If you know real nutrition, you don't have to do all that stuff. And it's a beautiful thing. But I want them to know that, okay, if you're going to eat beef, make sure it's grass-fed, grass-finished, and it's out in an environment where the grass is not covered with pesticides, herbicides, and glyphosate, and that the soil is rich. If you're going to eat chicken, make sure the chickens are free range. They're not caged. Make sure that if you're eating pork, it's heritage breed pork. If you're eating fish, make sure it's wild caught. Some stuff like that. But you just have to do the extra homework. I mean, that's really what it is. If you care that much about your bodies, you'll do the homework. But if not, then that's why I'm here. I do the homework. And when it comes to nutrition, exercise, and everything else that I do, the difference between me and every other trainer out there is that I really do care. Like, I care so much about their entire well-being, their health. I will do as much homework as I need to, whether it's the nutrition part, the supplement part, even stress management parts. I'll do that. And it's just an experience you just have to have, with me to understand. Speaking of the ancestral wisdom part, I know I talk about the science part as far as like kinesiology, physiology, and all that stuff, but there is an ancestral part to what I do too. It's been way overlooked. It's been neglected for far too long, and it is starting to come back. People are starting to come back to the roots. So what is grounding and earthing? It's basically the simple things you can do, like going outside. That's one thing already. If you work indoors a lot and it's an air-conditioned room, you're being disconnected from the earth already. Just go outside, get some fresh air, just fresh air. I mean, like in Hawaii, we have beautiful air. Like, get some sunshine too. We actually can get energy from the sun. So just get some sunshine. If you're not so paranoid about dirt, just take your shoes off. Get your feet on the dirt, the grass, the sand, wherever you're at. And that's the actual grounding part, because the earth is highly negatively charged with negative ions. And when we're stressed out, we're so bombarded with positive ions, it's causing a lot of inflammation in our bodies, which can, have this long laundry list of issues. All you got to do is stand on the grass. That's all you got to do. Stand outside for like 10, 15, maybe 40 minutes. And you'll see that you're going to start to feel better. Right? If you're able to get it to the beach, get into the ocean water. If you happen to go to like Aiea Loop Trail and just walk around, that's kind of like forest walking or forest bathing, they call it. It's called Shinrin Yoku in Japanese. So just going out there and going for hikes is just healthy for your overall well-being. You'll see what that does for you and your physical body. And, again, the mental part is especially important too. So that's kind of like an example of grounding and earthing that you can do. And, there are so many aspects to wellness besides just the working out, the exercises. And I know I haven't talked about the exercises a lot because I can go on for days about that, and that's not what's important right now. Let's talk about the ancestral wisdom. Let's talk about our innate ability to know about what foods to eat with some homework. And let's do some grounding and earthing through ancestral wisdom. There are other things too, like breath work. We work on breath work a lot. We talk about meditation. We talk about journaling. We talk about having an attitude of gratitude. I talk about a lot of other components of health, like social health. So social health and even financial health. And, even though it's kind of a touchy subject and I'm not going to name names, but hey, we talk about sexual health too. That is a dimension of health. So we talk about all these things that's important to the client. We have that conversation in an initial consultation call, which is a free call with me, whether it's through Zoom or a phone call. We talk about everything. And then from there, we build rapport, we create a connection, and hopefully have a start of a relationship, because relationships are important, especially in this line of work. And then from there, if they want to proceed, if it's a good fit, then we do the initial fitness assessment, where I actually assess your actual fitness levels based on the goals that you had in mind. And then once everything is good, it's kosher, then, hey, let's do this. We're a good fit. I know you can do great things. Let's do this together. Then that's when I get to work. That's when I do all that research that I kind of harped on. And then from there, I have a customized program just for them. It's special. It's unique. It's no one in the world is going to have the same workout plan as you. And it's just beautiful. And from there, the sky's the limit. And along with what I do, I like and love to collaborate with other fitness professionals, other wellness professionals, even people like Austin that does energy work. I like to work with, chiropractors, physical therapists, anybody that does any type of healing, even Reiki masters, Lomi therapists, acupuncturists. Like, we're all in this together. I have a registered dietitian friend. I won't say her name, but she's a dear friend, and we collaborate and talk about nutrition a lot. We just talk days about it. And that's the beautiful thing. My clients have full access to them as well. If they want to talk specifically to them, perfect. And that's what we should be doing. We should be working together as a team holistically. We have no rivals. There's no challenges. This is not a cutthroat industry. We should all be working together synergistically, holistically for everybody that we serve. And that's the reason why me and Austin collaborate often, is because we know what we can do for our clients. And it just starts by getting the word out. So if you are listening, check us out. You can check out us out at our website. Mine specifically is kaizenfitnesshawaii.com. That's Kaizen, that's K-A-I-Z as in zebra, E-N as in Nancy, fitness.hawaii.com. And you can search for me on my social media sites also. I mean, you'll find everything at the website. But if you want to contact me directly through phone also, it's 808-285-3725. That's 808-285-3725. You can also email me at kaizen.ess, and that's S as in Sam, @gmail.com. That's kaizen.ess@gmail.com. And I do have a podcast too. Hopefully I'll have Marilyn and Austin on that as well. It's called the Kaizen Fitness Podcast. It's on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Just Google it. You'll see it. You'll find it. I'm behind on recordings, so I only have 12 episodes out, but listen from 11 to 12 if you want the new version. That's basically it. Hopefully you guys have questions. Please check us out. Contact us. We're here to help. We're here to help and serve everybody in Hawaii and even abroad. I do have clients also in the mainland and other places as well. I do mobile training, hybrid training, and also online training. So online training, if you're not available here in Hawaii, I do train people online via my app, and also, stuff like Zoom and stuff. So if you're interested, please check us out. Thank you, Marilyn, for having me. I appreciate you as always. Always a dear friend, and I look forward to future collaborations with you and everyone else. And thank you, audience, for listening. And let's get it.
I love it. Thank you so much, Jen and Austin. I have 4 pages of notes, you guys. Like, they just bring so much value, and I really learned so much. So I'm definitely going to be meeting with them more so I can ask all my questions too that I wrote down, because there's so many things that we just don't know. We don't know until we know. And this is why World of Nutrition podcast is so important, because I like hearing what other people have to bring, what other people have to offer. And like what Jed said, having that abundance mentality that we're all here to work together. We can all work together. We can all collaborate. And I really, really love that kind of mentality. It's very, very important. And when you have that mentality, it's going to actually help us be happier, right? Be less stressed out, because we know that there's enough for all of us in this world to win. So thank you so much, both of you, for being here. We're so, so thankful. I did want to talk about a little bit that this podcast is sponsored by Mutual Aid Network, which I'm super thankful Kurt and Emily are a part of. And they helped me to understand that, around the world, sometimes there are people that have their strengths and may not have the means to do things to help, but they utilize their strengths. For example, I love doing karaoke Zoom. And so I gather people all around the world to sing karaoke for Mutual Aid Network. And it's been fun just getting people together and having that enjoyable singing opportunity. And so Mutual Aid Network is a huge part of this. And they have also partnered with Innovative. So really thankful for that. If you're interested in learning more about wearable nutrition while benefiting the nonprofit Mutual Aid Network, please go to MAN TIVE.com. And I want to just share something, testimony that I just got from one of my friends, Diana, who is pregnant right now, and she just doesn't get the best sleep. And she had a big presentation the next morning, and she tried all her tips and tricks that she normally does to get herself back to sleep. She woke up at 2:30, and finally at 3:30, she decided to put on a sleep patch. And within 30 minutes, she said she was able to fall back asleep, get 4 hours solid of sleep, woke up feeling refreshed and ready to go for her presentation for the day. So that is just such a wonderful testimony. Thank you, Diana, for sending that in to me. Really, really powerful story. And so if you know people who are pregnant that, may have a hard time sleeping, I would love to be able to let them know that a sleep patch could possibly help them, as it helped Diana. Emily or Kurt, did you want to share more about Mutual Aid Network before we close out?
One thing I'll share is that next weekend, March 18th and 19th, the Mutual Aid Network is having their Solidarity Summit. So please connect with us if you're interested in attending that. But yeah, that's the biggest thing at the moment at the Mutual Aid Network.
That's right. And on the 18th, I'm actually hosting a Zoom karaoke for that. So it'll be fun to get everyone together and we can all sing. So thank you so much for being here, Jed and Austin. And to our listeners, we appreciate you. We'll see you next time,
Marilyn.
next one.
Thank you, Marilyn. Appreciate it.
You guys.
Recording stopped.
Oh my